How did they do this? Hi. 22 people already. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I can see you. Armstrong, Lepsia, Bonda, Yilu. Hello. Noel, Ewang, Raphael. Already 138 people. Tita, I can see you. Hello. So this is my official Facebook page. I don't know whether those who are running the fake ones would automatically copy what we are doing now to send on to the other pages. I don't know. Hi. It's so strange. It's for the first time. I'm so glad to meet you all. Mercy, John, it took care. I can see you are Renaissance. Claudia. Hi. I'm just doing this for the first time, so I'm not an expert. So in case I make some technical mistakes, you just have to bear with me and forgive me for that. Hi. Hello. Thank you. Watching from Chicago. Okay. My Bali princess. Nancy. Prince Hansen is here. I can see you. All right. I really need to be sure how you... Hi. Hello. Good day, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us. We are going to kick off right away. I believe that Atia Tilarus, the acting editor of the Sun newspaper, should already be on standby. For Hansen Chanji should as well be there already. So that we can kick off immediately. I think this is the first time that I'm coming on my page officially to since I left prison. That was in November 2018. After what happened. I want to seize this opportunity to thank each and every Cameroonian who stood up to advocate for press freedom. All those who stood for me and were supporting me while I was in prison, even since I received a convocation to appear before the Gendarmerie Legion in Douala. I want to thank Cameroonians at home and abroad. I want to thank those from the English-speaking regions of Cameroon for the mobilization and everything, Cameroonians in the diaspora. I want to thank the entire press community in Cameroon. They stood up as one man to fight against injustice. I want to seize this opportunity to equally thank SNGC, the Syndicate of Cameroonian Journalists that has been working tirelessly to advocate for press freedom in Cameroon. I equally want to thank the Cameroon Association of English-Speaking Journalists led by Moki Charles Linonge Kamasech, Thank you so much. Thank you, Cameroonians, all those who even contributed financially, economically, even psychologically for my release. I want to thank you so much. This was just, especially those on the social media, you were there on daily basis to make sure that I was released, and you've kept believing in me and standing by me. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of strength. It has given me a lot of courage. It's a lot of inspiration. You could think that I inspire a lot of you, but you inspire me on the contrary, because seeing that you stand by me even when things were so difficult, even at the most trying moments of my career, it's I think I should have to work harder, and it should be an inspiration. And for Hansen Chanji is going to be joining us today, as well as Barrister Akbo Bala. If he's going to be connected, we have Atia Tilarus. I really don't know how I have to get Hansen on board. Hansen, if you're getting me, I don't know if you have to send an invitation, because I'm not getting the option of sharing this page or this live video so that you can get to join us live to talk about the situation of journalists and reporting the Anglophone crisis now in Cameroon. I don't know how I'm supposed to get that done, but I can see all of you. You are close to 1,000 of you already. I can see Handy Chama. Thank you so much for your greetings. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Queenie Moore. Many people have been asking before trying to get Hanson on board what I am doing now, where I am. I'm actually in London, where I'm attending a fellowship program with English Pen. English Pen is an international writers association which is based in London. So far, they organize these fellowship programs on a yearly basis. That is an annual program for English Pen, and I was privileged to be selected amongst those who had to benefit for this year, that is this 2019. It is equally thanks to the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, that linked me up to English Pen so that I could benefit from this fellowship program. Basically, I'm here to share my experience, what I see in the media landscape in Cameroon with other journalists who are present here, even student journalists. The other day you saw me at the City University talking to journalism students in the said institution. So it was just a kind of a win-win exchange. It was an opportunity for me to see with them how it means to practice journalism here in London, and for me to share my own experience too with them. With them, I discussed about the situation in Cameroon, and you wouldn't believe that there are so many of those students who didn't even know about the situation of Cameroon or Cameroon in general. So they were so amazed that Cameroon has a lot to, in terms of that they can actually visit Cameroon for coverage, to cover political events, social events, even the socio-political crisis in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. They can equally visit Cameroon to talk about the current atmosphere which is reigning in the country. We know about the tense political atmosphere that we have in Cameroon at the moment. So they were really, really amazed. So I have to be meeting a lot of people, basically to talk about my experience, how it was when I was detained, the situation in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon, because I've been meeting a lot of people to talk about the situation in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon that I wouldn't necessarily bring out here on the social media. Basically, that's that, because many people are asking, what are you doing in the UK? What is all about this fellowship program that you're undertaking? So that's the whole. Sorry, a call was coming in. A call was actually coming in. Sorry for that. Hansen for. I don't know how to get Hansen on board. I will try. You all have been patient, and you just have to give us some few minutes. Let me see if I don't know. Oh, how do we do that? How do we get people on board? Yeah, you are talking about nobody knows Cameroon abroad. You'll be more shocked when people ask where you are coming from. And yeah, I was really, really surprised that because I'm actually living with one of the veteran journalists here in the United Kingdom, Mrs. Dorothy, who is working with Channel 4. She doesn't even know about the situation in Cameroon. She only heard about Cameroon when I was arrested. So it's really, really a surprising situation. And they're getting to know more about the situation on the ground. And they're getting more and more interested to talk about Cameroon. I mean, the coming weeks and in the coming months, I think that they would get to talk about it on the media here in the UK. Hans, okay. Oh, I don't know how to get Hanson here. Atia, I don't. God, what do I do? How do we bring people on board? Hanson, you have to request for a video. That's what you have to do. I think so. Please, you just have to be patient a little bit. Okay. Click on my comment. I have, but I'm only seeing like and reply. Maybe we'll not be able to do. It might be difficult to get. Is it the phone that is the problem? Okay. I think Hanson. I'm adding Hanson. Yeah. Adding. It's adding Hanson. Okay. Hanson is already there. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Hanson. How are you?
It took you
A
so
lot of
long.
people are watching and you're so amazed that they have spared time. I know time is very precious wherever you are, but they have been able to wait for us to come on board so that we can get to talk about Cameroon, what is happening in Cameroon, what is happening in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Thank you so much, Hanson, for joining us. Thank you.
Welcome. It took you so long to get me. I've been waiting for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
I've not even eaten, so.
You know, I'm doing this for the first time, and yeah, it was a little bit difficult for me having you on board. So, like we announced, you're going to be looking at what it means for journalists to cover the crisis at this point in time, what has been rocking the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon for 3 good years now. Tell us, what are some of the difficulties that journalists are facing on the ground? Do you think the crisis is given its due attention within the media landscape in Cameroon? Because we have this general saying that it's really or actually undercovered.
Yeah, the Anglophone crisis, call it now the armed conflict in what many would prefer Southern Cameroon, or the Southern Cameroons, is actually underreported. It's underreported because, like what you said, you had a discussion some days ago with some journalism students, and they were not aware of what's happening. I must tell you that I've equally met with a lot of people back here in Europe. When I went to Geneva 2 days ago, I met some human rights defenders, and they were not even aware of what's happening. They asked me, "Oh, how did you guys come about the crisis and all that?" The media has not been giving. Let me say, the international media has not given much attention to the coverage of the Anglophone crisis. We of the local media, we've done our best, but I must say that it has not been easy, for journalists to cover the crisis. It is no news that most journalists have been prosecuted. You are a victim. I was almost a victim, but I had to run away. So that's the situation. A lot of journalists have been prosecuted. Some are already in jail. We talk of our Thomas. You have animators like Mancho BBC who is in jail, and among other journalists who are in jail in Cambe, in the Northwest Regional Capital, Bamenda. So you see that though we are accusing the international media of underreporting what is happening in the Northwest and the Southwest region, the government equally has a responsibility, because the local media, if we were given 100%, how can I say, the chance to report freely on biased report, the international media would equally have the chance also, to have much attention on what is happening.
Yeah.
I will explain. I'm saying this because only a few journalists have been able to raise an alarm to the international media and the international community, for them to know what's happening. I will not tell you what I do on daily basis when there's massacre in villages and all that. I will not tell you the various places where I send those images. So the role of the local media and of the local journalists is very important, because if we don't have that chance to alert the international media, I mean, they won't be able to, the international media can only come in to say, oh, maybe 82 students have been kidnapped. It is a story of an international dimension. Let's send a reporter and all that. But
Yeah.
there are issues that happen in villages that go underreported. There are massive
Yeah,
arrests that
now
go
talking
on.
about this the fact that the crisis is actually being underreported in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon, could we somehow blame government's crackdown on journalists? Could it have been a huge contributing factor?
Yeah, of course. That's
Like
why I was heading to.
government's approach, government's
Yeah,
crackdown on the media landscape, journalists in general in Cameroon, could it have contributed hugely in
a very big one,
um
because
yeah,
there is prosecution and there is persecution. Persecution is oppress. They oppress us psychologically. They follow us to our home. You've witnessed all that. They followed you to your house in the morning, in the evening. You go to work. They follow you as if you were a terrorist. That's persecution. It's as if you are being oppressed psychologically. You are being tortured psychologically. You are being attacked on Facebook. You are being attacked everywhere. Everybody calling you a terrorist or this, when you are only doing your job. Now there's prosecution. They take you to court and they tell you, oh, they use the 2014 law on terrorism, and all that. So, and it gives, I must say, there are many journalists who have decided to just leave anything concerning Anglophone crisis, because they know if you write something against, not even against the government, what maybe soldiers have done, they will say, oh, you are Amber. If you write what
mhm,
the Amber have done, they will tell you that, oh, you are supporting the government. But I must say, majority, or often majority of what happens on the ground and against journalists is carried out by the government, because they think that we are just terrorists. We were doing our job. I was doing my job. I mean, I did my job diligently, saw bullet, everything. I mean, but what happened? They started persecuting us. They started following our mobile money transfers. They started following our calls. I remember the time you and I had a call. We went to around Glace Modeng in
yeah,
Aqua, and somebody came and
yeah,
sat, and he had a dark eyeglass. They followed the call, and they sent him from the judicial police. And when I saw him, that Mimime, for this guy is suspicious. And immediately we left that place, and he left. So you see what, that's persecution. They torture you psychologically. They want to let you know that they are
mhm,
watching you. They are watching you, so that you should be careful with what we are doing. But
yeah. But somehow, like, it could be funny, but it actually paints the picture that's a bitter picture of the media landscape in Cameroon, the difficulties that journalists are going through, which is rendering our day-to-day activities practically difficult. Now, for Hans and Chanji, before we go, I think you might like to talk about the situation, the growing debates on tribalism now in Cameroon, how it's equally
mhm.
affecting the media landscape in the country. What could be the contribution of journalists at this point in time? Before we go, because
Yeah,
we have to have Atia Harris as well. You'll be
exactly.
talking tribalism and the impact of brown envelopes, like you earlier indicated. So, what could be the impact of that on the practice of journalism and what could be done?
Yeah, brown envelopes, tribalism, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. I saw a paradigm shift in practicing genuine journalism to practicing gombo journalism in this during the in this Anglophone crisis as well as the presidential elections. I mean, I saw how about 15 media newspapers are pro-government. They write trash against Maurice Kamto. They write about, they attack him from left to right, and you see that these are newspapers that you just see that, oh, envelopes, you see brown envelopes everywhere. Each time you read, an article, you see brown envelopes everywhere. And I must say, some of us have stood our grounds, and we've stood our grounds even in poverty to deny such brown envelopes. We've stood our grounds not to knock doors and say, oh, I have this story, what can I do? Can you give me this? This is killing journalism in Cameroon. A lot is killing journalism in Cameroon, and it's dividing the nation. You see now, newspaper reporters are agents now circulating hate speeches, because when this village has a newspaper, the person write against this administrator. This other village has a newspaper, write again. It is a total cacophony what is happening in Mefo, and I just believe that the journalists are going to come back to their senses and definitely move to the right direction to know that you're not supposed to propagate such things. We know we have been accused of propagating separatist ideas and propaganda and all that. Some of us, like me, I'm a peace journalism trainer. And a peace journalism trainer does not mean that it's somebody who stands and say, "Oh, let there be peace." No, we go above the usual narrative. Peace journalism trainer will go above the usual narrative. We look at what caused the problem. What is the root cause of this problem? And I bet you, if I want to look at the root cause of the Anglophone crisis, the government will call me terrorist, because I'll bring out facts that the government will say, oh, these things are just, you are
Yes.
propagating hate speeches and all that. So that's it.
Thank you so much for Hansen Chanji for joining us. We have a very short time with our viewers, our followers who have been there, as I think since morning that we announced that we're going to be live with them. Atia Tilaris is already on standby. Hansen 4,
Okay. All right.
thank you so much. And I seize this opportunity to thank you for always having my back. You are brother, you are everything. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
God bless you.
Atia Tilaris is already on standby, and certainly he's going to be telling us about some of the problems that journalists are facing, what it actually means to practice as a journalist in Cameroon. Atia, I think you have to request for a video, if I'm not mistaken.
You have to
I think
put
he
me
has to
up
request
first.
because comment, but there is no possible. It's not possible for me to get him on board. Atia, okay. Atia, you have to request for a video. Atia, can you please request for a video? We have to be very brief. People, they have to spend a lot of money just to have data, especially in Cameroon, and I really understand that. We are waiting for Atia. Barrister Bobala could be busy because he told me he was traveling to Lomé, so he could be out of the network. I'm also trying to get to him to see how possible he could come on board to tell us about the arrest. Acha is once again here. Let me see if I can succeed this time. I think in just a few seconds. Thank you so much. Hello, Atia. Hello.
Hello. Hello,
Thank you
Mimi.
for.
Good afternoon.
We are so glad to have you.
The pleasure is
This is
mine. It's a privilege.
Yeah, the privilege is ours as well. The acting editor of the Sun newspaper, which has been reporting about the situation in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon since it escalated. You've been doing a marvelous job, but it should be difficult for you, Atia, because you are one of those journalists who to be persecuted, like for Hansen Chanji was saying, persecuted as well. You had to spend several months, close to a year behind bars. Tell us what it means actually to practice journalism in the Anglophone region of Cameroon.
It's a very difficult thing to practice journalism at this age in Cameroon, particularly the northwest and southwest regions. We are having this conversation exactly 2 years after the day I was arrested on the 9th of February 2017. And I spent 204 days in detention in Yaoundé. So I have a pinch, I can feel it, I can understand what it means for the press to be gagged, what it means for a media that is not free, or that you are free to report whatever you want to report, but you cannot guarantee your freedom after you've done so. So it's really difficult. And since leaving prison, I think that I've been concentrating now on not only reporting that X or B has died, or that A or B will do this or that, but we are looking more at the humanitarian response by the international community to the crisis that we are facing in the country. Because it is true that we are going through difficult moments, but then there are many people who are suffering more than we are doing. And there's little we are doing to ensure that assistance goes to these people. We want to know that when humanitarian organizations bring aid to the population, it is a right of the population to receive aid. It is their right to be assisted. It is their right to receive medical care, to receive food, supplies, water, pads, and other sanitary supplies, as well as information. It's as important as also receiving information. And if journalists are not there to be the liaison between the local population who are suffering and the international community that has the support to give, then it's going to be very difficult.
Tell us how journalists could cope, because the situation is already there, and you've talked about how you've changed the narration. We've been having a lot of training seminars. We've had NGOs, the United Nations, sending trainers to train journalists on how to report in times of conflict like that which we have in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Tell us how journalists could survive in such an atmosphere, because Hansen was talking earlier about the fact that the crisis is actually being underreported. How could journalists survive in this hostile environment where you are scared that if you report about certain atrocities being committed on the ground, you could be targeted, maybe possibly by the government or the possibly the pro-independence fighters? Tell us how journalists could cope in a situation like that. Somebody who is on the field like you.
As journalists, we are expected to be balanced, to be neutral, to be impartial in our reporting. And that makes us a target from either side, be it from the non-state armed groups or from the state armed groups, because they feel that we are either exposing either an atrocity they are committing or an abuse or a violation to human rights. And in that case, it's very delicate. First, as journalists, we have to get abreast with the existing legislation in the country. You want to know that our media laws are as old as 1990. They are obnoxious, they are moribund. In some polity, I'm not sure such laws will still exist, but they exist in Cameroon. So as journalists, we have accepted it. We have no choice, because until those laws are changed, we are trapped, we are tied, and we are forced to respect some of those laws. And in 2014, the law of December 29, 2014 on the suppression of acts of terrorism defines terrorism so broadly as to also punish journalists. And if that is the case, then we have to be very careful as journalists when we are reporting, when we are doing our reporting. And it's really very difficult for us, very, very difficult. Somebody says I should adjust my microphone. Let me try to do that. So as journalists, we have to first of all know what the law says. And when we know that, we work in respect of the laws. For now, like I said, we have no choice. We have to respect the laws of the land, but also we have to respect the right of the population to information, and their right to also to receive humanitarian support, their right to receive care in times of crisis, because it is true that journalists cannot solve this crisis. But what we can do is to draw the attention of those who can solve the crisis, to solve the crisis, to draw the attention of those who can provide support to the suffering masses, to provide the support that is needed. The population is not, because they are in need of aid, does not mean they are beggars. It is their right in times of crisis to receive assistance from government, from humanitarian organizations, and every other party that is supposed to provide the aid. And journalists, when I see people writing that, oh, the aid that government is giving is poisoned, oh, the aid that is coming from humanitarian groups have been poisoned and all of that, I think it's a very bad precedent. And that is what we are struggling to fight. We try to let the population know that even though fighting is going on, they have to live, they have to survive. Even if it is dialogue that will end the war, or it is some independence like other people think that will end the war. Even while all those things are going on, those of us who are journalists, who are impartial, who are neither for the non-state armed groups or for government, are supposed to be for the population, for the masses, for those who are suffering, to educate them, to know that they have to stay safe, they have to accept humanitarian support that comes, and that accepting the support does not mean they are beggars, but it rather strengthens their position. It shows that they are human beings, and other humans elsewhere are in solidarity with them. Just to say that the role of the state in terms of crisis is to ensure that the population, who for no fault of theirs are victims of the crisis, have to be attended to. And as journalists, we are trying to bridge that gap and also provide information, because when you're in the bushes, the only thing you can hang on to is information. If you are not well informed, then you
and
may make
having
wrong
access
decisions.
to information is another. Access to information is a problem, because you could have access to official information or information on the side of the pro-independence fighters, but having that right information to inform the public, because there's always the truth behind everything, is a big problem, Atia. It's also another big
It's a very big
problem.
problem. Yes, even before the crisis started, or the situation, like some other people want to call it, before it started, we have had the problem of inaccessibility to information. As of now, we are yet to have a Freedom of Information Act in the country. And until such a time when we have that kind of act, it will be difficult for journalists to have access to information. But we make do with what we have, and we go the extra mile to investigate and be sure that the information we have is something that should go out to the public. We weigh the odds. We should be sure that we are not hurting somebody and hurting ourselves as well, because in as much as we have to inform the public, we also have to be safe while we inform the public. And so we take measures to be safe, we take measures to protect ourselves, and also to tell the non-state armed groups and the state armed groups that journalists should not be targets, and they should never be targets. That journalists should are only there to play the role that they're supposed to play, the role of providing information to the population. And this information can only be credible and true when the means is there for the journalists to go, when they can freely go to the field and find that information without being seen as either accomplices to A or B, or being tagged blacklegs or activists and all of that. I think that journalists also have to wear the coat they are supposed to wear. We cannot at one point be journalists, at another point be activists or advocates. I'm not sure it's possible.
Yeah. Now, Atia, before we go, Barrister Bobala, certainly would have him in possibly our subsequent editions of the live shows if need be. I want to find out from you what is really, really certain is that the crisis is really underreported, because there are a lot of human violations, humanitarian crisis on the ground, because there is no accessibility, the security problems for journalists to go into those interior localities to do findings. I should say that it's very, very difficult for this crisis to be reported the way it was supposed to be, right? I think
it's
there
very
are so
difficult
many.
because
Yeah,
it is difficult because we have not had guarantees from either parties in what is going on. Where the non-state armed groups have not given assurances that, okay, if you go to the field, you will not be attacked. Something bad will not happen to you. Neither has the state given assurances that if journalists go to the field, nothing bad will happen to them. So in that case, journalists find it difficult, because in as much as you have to inform the masses, you also have to live a life to tell the story. When you go to the field to get information, you must be able to be alive to pass on the information to the masses. If not, and then you'll be unable to inform the people. So that's the problem journalists are facing in the country. And I think that humanitarian groups, those who are charged with solving crises like this one, I think it's about time they do something for us to come out of this situation in which we find ourselves.
Yeah, thank you so much, Atia Tilarius. You have been marvelous. Thank you, most especially for your time. We are together, Atia. Of course, you know. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
You're being watched by close to 2,000 people. I think you should just greet them. They have been there waiting since morning.
Well, I want to greet the audience and thank them for taking off time to follow us, and also thank all those who prayed for me while I was in detention. I'm sure their prayers, the support, and the advocacy they did played a very huge role in our release. And I want to tell them that they should not stop. They should not stop seeking ways towards peace, seeking ways towards a return to normalcy, seeking ways towards an end to all what is happening, so that the population can once more live decent lives, so that once more we can live like human beings in our own country.
Thank you so much, Atia. See you. To those who have been here waiting since morning, like I indicated, we were supposed to normally have Bobala, the barrister, who would probably be joining us maybe subsequently. He was supposed to talk about the arrest and detention of Njongwan Emmeline, the lady who allegedly filmed human rights violation that was in BIYA. This week, she was arrested and she's been detained. According to the Center for Human Rights and Democracy, she's been asked to pay a huge sum of money to regain her freedom. Certainly, she was supposed to look at the whether it is actually an offense and how the center has gone so far with its findings, and what it means filming a video. Like, is it illegal what Emmeline actually did, and the chances for her getting her freedom? Since he is a legal mind, he was better placed to talk about the situation, and we would certainly be having him subsequently. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know, many of you have been asking a lot of questions. I might just be here for 2 more minutes. If I see a few questions, I might answer and then get going. Some journalists must have okay, no questions. I think I would be leaving you. No questions so far. No questions so far. Maybe okay, actually I talked about the need for the situation on the ground to return to normalcy in the 2 Anglophone regions of Cameroon. I don't think the situation can return to normal without more of international pressure and the international media getting to talk more about the situation in the 2 Anglophone regions of Cameroon. It doesn't suffice coming on the social media talking about the Anglophone crisis. I don't think it will be enough for the local media, which has been doing enough about the Anglophone crisis, to keep talking about it. I think we have the United Nations that could react. We have some world leaders. We have the media out of Cameroon, which has to draw the attention of the world that, look, this is a humanitarian situation. This was a problem or a crisis that has almost become a civil war. We have close to 1 million people displaced in the 2 Anglophone regions of Cameroon, hundreds of thousands in bushes. We have a good number of them in neighboring Nigeria seeking refuge. How homes are divided. We have hundreds of lives lost. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people who have died so far. And I don't think that we have accurate figures so far from human rights defenders who have been carrying out investigations on killings, on destructions in the 2 Anglophone regions of Cameroon. There is need, as Atia Tilarus was indicating, it's difficult for journalists, like for those who have been carrying out findings, to go on the ground to see what's happening and get the facts and figures, the exact facts and figures of the consequences of the current Anglophone crisis. So there is need for the crisis to come to an end. We have several people displaced, like I indicated. We have more than 300 villages burned down to ashes in the 2 Anglophone regions of Cameroon, and apportioning blame is no longer the solution now. There is need for the people to have peace in the 2 Anglophone regions of the country. There is need for the people to live their lives normally. Homes have been divided, and there is equally need for the government to do something about the situation. The government has been taking a lot of military action. There is need for concrete solutions to the Anglophone crisis, and I think it can only be inclusive dialogue. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Do you know that tomorrow is Ghost Town in Cameroon? Yeah, certainly I'm following happenings on the ground. Do you feel secured as a journalist? Yes, of course. I feel secured as a journalist in Cameroon, whether I'm in Cameroon or out of Cameroon. But we don't know how far we can be secured, but I feel secured as a journalist, whether I'm in Cameroon, my country, or out of the country. Thank you so much. Bye. You've been wonderful. We can't stay the whole day talking, but I love you so much. And this is my official Facebook page. I didn't create any other page than this one. Thank you. Bye. How do we